Hello YouTube, LD50 here, back in another video, and today we're going to take a walk through my County Crossings settlement build. This is on a new character, a character called Frankie, and she has allied herself to the railroad, so this is a railroad ending game. I have completed the main campaign, and so therefore I'm going to theme my settlements as though they're sort of sponsored by the railroad. So let's take a look. So this is County Crossings, and this is from the main corner. So there's the main road. You'll see one of my supply provisioners is making his way up there, as is Cosworth. I don't know what Cosworth is doing, but he's his own robot, so you know. So on the corner here, this is where we come in from this side. We have obviously a little guard post here with a guard, and then our trade caravan post, and our defensive tower. A few doggos, including dog meat. And obviously, being the railroad, we've got some railroad flags there. There's one there, and there's another one over there. We'll take a look up the top, from the top of the tower, so that you can see down into the settlement.
At least it's honest.
I will try to be try to keep it gives you some slow pans, because obviously we are struggling badly with our frame rate. But at this end of the settlement, we have a bar. That's that shack in front of you with our water treatment out the back, and then we have our shop and clinic and our greenhouse, and further off in the distance, it's not rendered inside, but that is our armor and weapons vendors, and then we've got some accommodation further on down that you can't see from this end because of the trees. So we'll have a pop downstairs.
Don't eye the promise.
Hello, Kate. You're going to be annoying me now. We've got. I like to think in my head canon that you know, buses used to run through here, and you know, one broke down before the war, and it's sat here ever since. Little bus shelter, and we've just used this city liner here just to put a basic bed in. So you know, it's a little sort of place for somebody to doss down on, listen to the radio, hang out, talk to the traders, etc. So we'll go and have a look in the bar. So there's an entrance on this side, and then there's an entrance on this side. I do have invisible guard mats down here and here, where my crosshair is, because there will be guards that stand there. One stood there, as you can see. And then going into the main bar. So I'm trying to keep this build a little bit more rustic than my other builds, a little bit less rigid. I'd like to think I've sort of achieved that. So we've got our little bar area here. We like to think that you know, this has been set up as a little secure settlement by the railroad. They're sponsoring it for people that are coming through County Crossings, doing trade and passing through. So we like to think this is a bit of a watering hole, and you know, they might stop in and get themselves a drink, or you know, entertain themselves with some games of some sort. So at this end we have put in a bar, and we have an abundance of bar people there for some reason. We've got both Ada and Jezebel decided to get in the way. They have been sent elsewhere, but for some reason they won't move. So we have our bar here, and we've used an invisible bar mat for the bar person to stand at, a vendor mat that is. So beneath that vendor is an invisible mat which allows him to stand there and do the animation as though he's at a bar. But we've obviously been able to use something that isn't the usual bar for him to stand on, and you'll see that replicated throughout the settlement with other shops. But here's our little basic bar area. Some of these things are added by mods. The mods I've used for this build are the USO suite of mods, and then there's a few others. I'll leave a link in the description to another video detailing the mods that I've used or that I'm currently using, and if I can remember I'll actually leave a list of the mods as well, but I'll certainly try and leave a link if you're interested in the mods. Follow that link and it'll tell you what mods I've been using. But yeah, we have a little bar area here. Yeah, it's sort of quite basic. These are shelves that are turned around the other way, so I don't have to decorate them. You know, I think that's enough immersion for me. And then over in this corner, if you've seen any of my builds before, you'll know I do like to do the old grill glitched into the countertop there with some flames. So you know, we like to think that obviously being a bar, the bar vendors in this game will, you know, serve drinks and food. So you know, you can stop in here and get yourself some sort of eats or some drinks. Or normally Clem is here dispensing soda, or you know, make yourself a coffee. We've glitched that coffee station into that bookcase just to hide the Slocum Joe's logo. A few gaming machines there, and some one-armed bandits up this end to you know, relieve the travellers of their hard-earned money. Perhaps you know, they were sat here playing a game of chess and had to leave in a hurry, which is why they've left their cigarette burning. Anyway, that's our little bar area. All of the items here have been put in place and set in place so they can't move by a mod called QwaPA. You'll see it on the screen, QwaPA. And that allows you to place anywhere within the build menu, and also to fix items in place that normally would move around. So none of these items here will move in the event that you know, they get disturbed by an attack or a settler or whatever. They're firmly in place. That's the same for, you know, everything that you see around. So out the back here we have obviously our little facilities for the bar. Less said about that the better, but you know, for immersion purposes. And then I like to think this is a little sort of administration shack. We've got our power in here. We've used a mod which allows us to move the workbench, so we've moved the workbench in here. We've got a clear weather switch for our clear weather mortar. You can hear it go off, so that will ensure that we have good weather for the rest of the tour. And then behind the door we've got our vault management system. So around the back here, here's our water purifier and our settler beacon, which is turned off now because we've reached the right amount of settlers. I can hear a radstorm coming, so I imagine we'll have to trigger that clear weather mortar once again. And then some little steps up here which allow us to get up to refill the clear weather mortar or fix these turrets in the event that they got damaged in an attack. Yeah, starting to get the old storm coming. I'm going to let it develop a little bit more, I think. No, let's get rid of it now. There we go, and then back to sunshine. And then up here, just got another little gun emplacement, because behind these containers here is one of the spawn points, or the other spawn point, the main one being out there where that tank is. The super mutants are spawned there. So a little bit in placement this side, and obviously a bigger one over there looking down onto this area, so we shouldn't have any trouble in the event that we get an attack. Now, being on PS4, we are really at the very end, or the limit of the capabilities of what the machine will handle. So we do lose frames when we move around quickly, so I'll try and move as slowly as I can so it doesn't get too jerky. So I think we'll go and have a look here at our little outdoor gym. So we've built a little outdoor gym on the side here, just for settler happiness. I think we're at about 93% happiness, which I can live with because we've got 2 robots here, even though they're not supposed to be here, which prevents you getting 100% happiness. So a little gym here with some weights and a non-functioning running machine. Getting hazy again. I think I might go and let off another clear weather shell. One of the things I've noticed at County Crossing is we do get foul weather more frequently, it seems, than some of the other settlements. So we have our clothing vendor and general vendor within this building, and our clinic and surgeon, a doctor and surgeon, within that building. So we'll go and have a little look inside here. So this is our clothing and general store. And these counters here are added by a mod. They're not functioning vendor counters, they're cosmetic only. And then you have to use a vendor rug for the vendor to stand on, so that the vendor will stand there and do the right animation. But they come pre-decorated. It just helps to make the thing a little bit more immersive without it being so tedious to decorate. So our general store here, obviously, you know, a selection of items, none of which are for sale. They're all decorative only. And then our clothing vendor here, and again this is a pre-decorated vendor counter, but the shelves at the back here I did decorate myself, so we've got some actual clothing for sale there that you could take if you wanted to. And then 3 mannequins with some posh dresses for, you know, in the event that there's ever a glittery ball or something that people want to go to in the Commonwealth after the nukes have fallen. And we've got a little changing room here. The curtains are added by Creation Club. And then we've got a barber over here. So a little sort of rusticy barber. Haven't used too much fancy stuff, but she'll take care of our haircut needs.
Didn't expect help from a stranger. Thanks.
She was actually one of the good fighter mercenaries from the GNR DLC. And you know, a few items to give immersion here, including the 2 copies of QwaPA magazine.
Hey.
So that is our little shop with our general store and clothing vendor in it. And then we have our clinic with our doctor. So there's our doctor, and that is a hand decorated shelf out the back. It took me you know, quite a long time to do, but I think it looks quite nice. It's full. The box down here was added by a mod, as was the decorated trolley out the back. But that's our little surgeon as well, with some decorated shelves. And a little waiting area. People can sit down and read a magazine or have some water or Nuka-Cola while they wait for their appointment. And again, the doctor is standing on a medic rug there, so that she'll stand and do the, you know, she will work as a doctor and stand in the right place. So not interested at that moment, don't need healing. So again, it's a little hazy, so if the weather does get more hazy, I'll let off a clear weather show, but we seem okay at the moment. So we have our greenhouse here with 36 food inside, and some farmers decide they want to go on the top because, you know, that's the way things are. So we've got a little greenhouse here. The conduit on the top, in my head canon, it's sort of supposed to represent a irrigation system, but it also provides some nighttime illumination. We've got 2 little side greenhouses here as well. This one's got carrots in. and this one's got the muck fruit. And obviously we've got corn and potatoes. These tables here come pre-decorated. They're added by one of the mods. Sadly, they do tend to farm from the outside, but it can't be helped. So that's our little greenhouse. We'll go and have a look at the top, from the top of this guard, this weapons emplacement, defense emplacement, so you can see this end of the settlement. So as you see, this end we've got some these are accommodations for sleeping, and there is our weapons and armor vendor, which we'll go and see in a minute, our Brahmin, our robot workbench, and you can see down onto the top of the greenhouse and see over to the bar area. I was hoping we might get you know, a super mutant attack while we were recording this, so you could see everything working, but of course everything's never happened when you want them to. Kate just getting in the way all the time. Okay, so let's go and have a look in this corner over here. So in this corner we've just got a couple of box cars in with some basic mattresses down for people to sort of doss their heads down on. No sleeping has been assigned yet. It's one of the things I might get round to doing, but assigning people to specific beds does get a bit tedious. So I'm just letting them sleep where they want at the moment. So sometimes you'll see the doctor sleeping in there when they should be sleeping in the posh accommodation. Anyway, we have another gun emplacement down on this side. We'll go and have a look at the top, why not? And that is because this area in front of us here is one of the spawn points. So there should be plenty of defences over this side to take care of any raiders. I'm not sure what type of creature spawns there. I know it's super mutants on that side. It might just be raiders, or it might be dogs. I'm not sure. I haven't been attacked from this side, or I haven't caught it. Let's say the defence has taken care of things for me. I'm not seeing any dead bodies, so I'm guessing we haven't been attacked from this side yet. And you can obviously see down into that part of the settlement, and you can't quite see anything because of the tree there. So just a little bit of storage, so that's just for immersion, doesn't do anything. And then our Brahmin trough with our Brahmin there. And then this is our robot workshop, external robot workshop. And over here we have our weapons and armor warehouse. So again, these counters are coming pre-decorated, and they don't function as counters. You have to actually use a vendor rug behind them to have the vendor stand there. But the armor vendor has you know, some armor on display. The shelves are pre-filled by a mod, and the same with the weapons. I quite like this. This was added by one of the mods. That's quite a nice piece of unusual kit to decorate with. And these shelves come pre-filled, but obviously I've put weapons on the wall for display myself. So that's our weapons and armor vendors. And then over here we have our main accommodation. So you know, facilities there. Enough said about that. And then we have some basic accommodation in a shack here. These filled shelves are added by a mod. I like to think somebody maybe was just about to sit down and have some dinner and got called away. So that's the basic shack accommodation. There's one more bit of accommodation up here, which is just one of the old modules, which I've just put a bed in and used it as some sort of DOS down accommodation. I tried to make this build, as I said, a little bit less regimented than some of my previous builds. Tried to make it a little bit more lore, perhaps, or a bit more canon. Less reliant on the big square builds that I've been doing in the past. Did end up using barn for this accommodation, just to provide some contrast in texture. So this is the fancier accommodation, and by fancier I mean it's got a bathroom. So in my head canon, this would be where the doctor and the surgeon would perhaps lay their heads, and you know, perhaps the more important people on the settlement. So basic little bathroom in there. These bathroom items are added by the USO suite of mods, and then we've just got some, you know, basic bunk bed accommodation with some pre-filled shelves for decoration. We will do a nighttime tour as well, so I think what we'll do is go and find somewhere to sit down and wait for it to become night. I think there's a convenient chair in here. So we'll get to about 1:30 in the morning, and it should be nice and dark by then, and you'll be able to see everything lit up at night. So I haven't gone too bright with the lighting on this build. I've tried to keep it fairly minimum. A little deck here with this actually is a functioning cooking station. So I haven't seen anybody use it yet, but settlers could potentially come and use that to make things. And obviously we've got our cats for happiness here. Settler off for a snooze, I'd imagine. So that's nighttime interior. Yep, doctor's decided to sleep here. And then inside the greenhouse with the conduit lighting. And inside the city liner. This fire barrel, which does look a little bit sort of out of place, there is, I think, scripted light here, or scripted smoke, because I think there was a campfire or something and once you scrap the campfire, the scripted sort of glow and smoke remains. So I had to put something here to for there to be a reason to be the smoke, if you see what I mean. So ended up putting this fire barrel with, you know, a seat which occasionally the settlers will sit on, and obviously a little campfire here on top of the stone table for the traders that pass through, and then our bar at night time. I think the colours pop a bit more, it looks a bit nicer, it's quite immersive. Right, let's just have a little sit down. The blue light here is provided by a cycling light, which we can change the colour if we so desire. I quite like the blue. And then sort of nighttime wharf, and you can see down onto the gym area. And then obviously the vendors don't work at night, so we can get a better look at the surgery centre without the surgeon in the way.
That's just what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. Probably. Segue. Back to the music, I guess. Rocket 69 is next. And,
so there we go. I think that concludes the County Crossings settlement build tour. I hope you have enjoyed the content. If you have, please leave me a like and consider subscribing to the channel. It will help motivate me to make more build videos and carry on entertaining people. Anyway, I've been LD50. You've been lovely, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.